Welcome everyone to the Locker Room, where there's no scripts, just real talk about domains, digital identity, Web3, and what's happening in our space. My name's Bailey Comyns. I'm head of marketing at Orange Domains, the registry operator for Locker. And with me today, as always, is Don Ruiz, our general manager. So hi Don, how are you today?
I'm feeling better. I was
Yeah.
in the thick of it the last couple of days. I wasn't feeling very good. Caught a summer cold, but I'm feeling much better. I'm very excited to talk about the topic today. I believe we're going to be talking about our new integration with ENS.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to cover here. I mean, things are rapidly evolving around our new integration. With the especially when you think about like the new GTLDs that are coming out, all the different connections to alternate routes people are going to be trying. I think this one is a big one for us.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, it's been a long time coming. Somebody asked me recently because we made an announcement to the channel
Yeah.
that we're going to be connecting and minting dot locker names on Ethereum through the Ethereum name service. And they asked me, why now?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, we've been working on this for a while. As you know,
Yeah.
this has been a long time coming. We started minting on the Bitcoin naming system. And we knew that that was going to be a stepping stone into more chain interoperability.
Yeah.
And the next natural chain to go to is obviously Ethereum,
Right.
right? With
Right.
it has, deep security and smart contracts that kind of sets itself up for an economic value that's staked, and it's a programmable chain, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we knew
Yeah.
that we were going to be moving there.
And I think that's an important distinction between Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? We started on Bitcoin, started on BNS, which was like you said, a great place to start. But Ethereum offers a little bit more utility to end users. So when you say it's a natural, next step, it truly is. I mean, people are able to do a lot more with Ethereum's, programmability and all the funds kind of being invested into Ethereum, the massive base of users. I mean, this is a big move for us that's going to offer our users so much more.
Yeah, and there's a big, obviously, in mainstream, stable coins are kind of
Mm.
the talk of the town, and a lot of applications are leaning into stable coins just because of that, right? Because they're um, mapped back to anchored to some, the US dollar, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, Ethereum holds the largest supply of stable coins, right?
Yeah.
And it has DeFi liquidity, and it has a massive active developer base as well. It has, I
Yes.
think, the largest developer ecosystem, or what people say, and the research we've done anyway. And so for us, it just makes sense for us to move into offering Locker on Ethereum as well.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is built on scarcity. It's built on, the idea of finance, but Ethereum's really built on the idea that you should be able to do something with, blockchain technology. You should be able to build something, and you should be able to maybe do a little bit more than, you know, trade assets. And that's kind of putting Bitcoin in a very simple terms, but Ethereum just offers a lot more.
Yeah, it does right now, and who knows, right? I mean,
Right. Oh, yeah. We could be
where
going
everything's
back.
going to go. We just want to make sure that we have more interoperability for our users and more utility for the users and stuff, right? And when you go past Ethereum and go into ENS from a naming system standpoint, I mean, it's kind of the de facto Web3 standard, to
Yeah.
be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's others out there, but they have by far the most names. They have millions of names registered,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's baked into some of the most popular, largest wallets out there: MetaMask and Coinbase and Rainbow and
Mm-hmm.
Uniswap and EtherScan, as well as applications. So it's supported throughout the ecosystem. And that's something that our users would get with Locker as well, right out of the gate. So we're excited about that expanded utility for users, which again, we just thought was the next natural step for the product and the solution as we kind of move forward, right? And the way that ENS it was actually designed is actually works hand in hand with DNS as well.
Yeah.
It was never designed to replace the DNS. Is more designed to work within the naming system architected by DNS and stuff. And there's groups out there that use the DNS sec and the text fields to connect names. We don't do it that way, but there are ways to do that through ENS to make it fairly easy. There are some trade-offs when you do it that way, but it does allow for that, right? And the other thing about ENS is it's a open protocol, right? And it's governed by a nonprofit, and it's been around for, I think, since 2017. So it's battle tested. It's been around for a few crypto cycles now, and it's kind of a standard based out there. So we're excited. They have a great team. We've been working with their team very closely, and for us, this is a major step. And the timing for us is, as you mentioned at the top of this discussion, the timing is really good because leading into the next round, and we have our Moz product, right, which is the serves our white label. Now we can offer an ENS minting service for any TLVs that are looking to connect to the Web3, particularly on ENS, right? BNS, we're looking at other chains as well, but this is the next one that we're launching, right?
Yeah, and because ENS provides the organization and kind of management of the names that is necessary to prevent things like name collision. It's necessary that they have the connections to all the apps so you can actually use the name. They've really paved the way for Web3 naming when it comes to linking it with DNS names. They have a very similar philosophy when it comes to, the power of keeping a namespace clean and letting registries own their namespace. I think that's huge for us and huge for anyone else who wants to come on board.
Yeah, for sure. And what users are going to be getting now, right, is that we're going through a rebrand now of a unified name, right? One name everywhere, and you sent me something which makes a whole lot of sense, right? Where a .locker name gets all of the utility that a .eth name gets within the ecosystem and acts also like a .com with no trade-off, but it's under the single name.
Right.
And that goes back to the unified name marketing.
Right.
We're kind of now, right?
It's not a subdomain. Like, you don't get a subdomain on the DNS side. You don't have to choose something that's looks similar, maybe, or maybe you're doing something totally different with your name on the DNS side, or even on the Web3 side. You get to use one name, one exact name, so you can seamlessly work across the internet, which is kind of what we've said from the beginning. The internet is the internet. There shouldn't be a border or boundary between Web 2, Web 3. There should be a bridge that allows users just to interact with the internet and not choose necessarily which side they're interacting with.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was the whole purpose of us kind of starting this as a project and stuff. And as the internet continues to evolve, there's other areas of the internet that has been evolving as well. But also, I think they intersect with the Web3, and that's AI, for example. But and using names for these AI and these micropayments, I think will make things a lot easier. Instead of, you can use Jane.locker instead of the 42 character wallet address, right? And worrying about typos, and some people get clipboard and anxiety. I know I do. So obviously it makes it simple. And all the work that ENS are doing with also working with a lot of the bigger mainstream P2P payment and transfer groups and Venmo and PayPal, I think at some point in a not too distant future, we'll be able to use these names. I know ETH you can use on Venmo now. Be able to use Locker on some of these as well. And as the internet continues to evolve, there's going to be other applications, some we haven't even thought of yet, where the importance of having these names mapped to a permanent ledger on Web3 side, and offering that utility for commercial use is going to be extremely important.
Yeah, I
So
mean, that's a huge unlock. I mean, we've been talking about Ethereum and we've been talking about ENS, but something else is coming with our upgrade. And I don't think we mentioned it's coming September 1st for all of our partners, but something else that's coming is MetaMask. We are now onboarding users through MetaMask, which is a very popular, one of the most popular, digital wallets available. It's trusted. I think they're just celebrating their 10 years. I think I just saw that on X this morning that it's their 10 years in business, and I think they've kind of proven themselves as one of the industry standards. So we're also kind of giving users a powerful, recognized digital wallet fully integrated with ENS, which is a lot different from what we were doing before.
yeah, for sure. And not just MetaMask though. There's other,
Yeah,
I think we support all the EVM
yeah,
wallets, but MetaMask is certainly the one I think that we recommend out of the
yeah,
gate, just because it's probably the most familiar to
exactly.
users, or new users have heard of it. They have such a large footprint now in the ecosystem. So yeah, we're excited with the work that we're doing and what we're launching. There's a lot more to come. I know that we're going to be launching the DARE program using stable coins
Mm-hmm.
as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least offer stable coin to end users as rebates and rewards. It could be any digital asset. We're kind of
Yeah.
moving into the stable coin just because everything is going on, and it works very nicely on Ethereum and ENS as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it doesn't get better than a currency that's backed by the U.S. dollar.
No, that's right. But I will say, through this whole process, it hasn't been without its um, you know, stumbling blocks.
Oh yeah, yes,
We've had a lot of roadblocks as we were kind of building this out. It's different from building on BNS, for sure. Our architects and developers are unbelievable.
yeah. Top notch.
Their ability to problem solve and to help us through the technical aspects of what we're trying to do, and Matt making sure that maps back to all of the ICANN policy and requirements that we feel is necessary to have in those, alternative name
Yeah,
integrations and I'm sitting on that technical study group that we're currently part of the ICANN and developing a report that will be released hopefully sometime in August around recommendations and best practices for these alternative name integrations, particularly going into the next round of TLDs.
yeah. Because it's not as simple as just like bolting on an out of the box solution. As we know, everything that has is built from the ground up and was built by specialized teams. We had Bilal on a few episodes ago. I can
Yeah.
always link that in the show notes. But we had really tap into our Web3 counterparts because we're ICANN people. We come from the Web2 side.
Yeah, DNS data for sure. I mean, we've learned a lot over the last few years. There's no doubt. Um, and but there is a lot that people need to consider as they kind of think about what an integration would look like, not only from a technical standpoint, but from a um, channel adoption
Mm-hmm.
standpoint too, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
obviously, you and I have a lot of experience on the registrar side as well. So, understanding all the different pieces is going to be important for the groups into the next round. But we do have that white label product that we're talking to
Yeah.
uh, groups that are applying for the next round, and this whole ENS piece is a massive um, kind of step forward in providing a more well-rounded white label solution for users to consider as they kind of are looking at how they're going to integrate into at least the Web3
Mm-hmm.
as an alternative namespace for the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, very timely. Uh, the applications for new GTLDs is closing in just a few weeks. I think everyone's going to be kind of searching for some sort of solution, guidance, recommendations, anything to help guide them in this process. So I'm looking forward to what's coming in the next months, the TSG report, our official launch on Ethereum, and seeing who gets what string.
Yeah, and I think that I'm off to Brussels
Mm,
next week for
mhm.
some in-person meetings and technical study group as we kind of push through some of the details of the report. And we're talking to obviously some groups that are and some consultants about maybe doing some consultancy, but we should probably do a show on that,
Yeah.
on what we're, what or what we can offer from a team perspective to help some of these groups navigate the waters into the next round as they think about these alternative
Yeah.
naming systems.
Yeah, I think they'd be very surprised at some of the conversations that we have on a daily basis about how to, architect and design .locker.
Yeah, we're in it every day, and I love it. Hopefully, we'll be able to help others and share our knowledge.
Yeah.
A rising tide raises all boats. I mean, you hear that all the time, particularly in this industry. So,
Yeah.
anything we can do to help push the narrative forward with other groups, I think is very important as well. So, I'm excited about the conversations to come. And there's a couple conferences in the fall, and I think they'll be very meaningful. One in Miami, it's the main one, obviously,
Oh yeah,
NamesCon, and then
NamesCon.
the ICANN in Bali as well. So I'm sure our schedule will be chock full of discussions at those conferences.
Yeah, we'll have to brush up on our Web3 notes there.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, all of this is coming to .locker on September 1st. So keep an eye out. We'll be publishing updates and posting content, but it will be released to everyone, September 1st. So we're very excited. Um, and yeah, as always, you can find us on X and Discord as .locker, and then you can find us on LinkedIn as Orange Domains. So thanks for joining us in the .locker room today, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.